We are now taking you live to Canberra. The Labor Senator Pat Dodson is speaking about his retirement from politics, which was announced a short time ago.
I want to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people on whose lands we are gathered, and I simply want to express my deep gratitude to the Labor Party and to the Senate, where I've been able to play a bit of a little part. I've been here for about nearly 7 years. I've been on a number of committees, particularly the Juukan Gorge Committee with Mr Ench and Rachel Seward from the Greens, and Warren Snowden, my good mate from the Northern Territory. But really, I'm having, as most of you know, I haven't been in good health. My beard's starting to grow back, which is a great sign. Although the right side were growing more than the left, I'm not sure whether that's indicative of politics or not. But I don't think I've grown any more conservative than I have been. But I do leave this place with some sense of sorrow, in that as a nation we were not able to respond positively to the referendum, to the provision in the proposition for the referendum, because I think that would have helped our country. Obviously 60% of Australians disagreed with that proposition. So you now have in this country an Australian problem. It's a problem for Australia. The 60-40 split of that vote makes it an Australian problem. It's not an Aboriginal problem. And we need to seriously think, and this concerns me leaving this place, not that I would be able to save it from it, but we need to seriously think now of the way in which our civil society knits together with its diversity and differences. We can't take that for granted, and it's not just First Nations peoples and non-Indigenous peoples. This is an Australian problem we now have, and it's the legacy of the success of the no voters. It's the legacy of the success of the no voters. And in my sense of analysis of that vote, the jury's still out. Many Australians of goodwill possibly didn't know the implications and the complexities of what the provision was about. And that requires consultation, and I accept that. But I think as a nation, not only now do we still have the ongoing problem and challenges of colonisation and settlements and its impact on the First Peoples, we now have, if we're not careful, serious challenges to the underpinning social fabric of our society from the successful nature of our multicultural integration and achievements. So they're the challenges for us as a nation as I see them. I have great faith in the Labor Party to take on these challenges with courage and not to capitulate against the naysayers on the other side or in the public space who seek to intimidate us from upholding the better standards that we're capable of as Australians. So they're my opening comments, colleagues. My formal retirement from the Senate will be on the 26th of January. It's 3 days before my 76th birthday, and it's a Friday, so it'll be a good day to retire. Thank you. I'm open to questions.
Senator Dodson, how do you see, you've just described, well, first of all, thank you for your service to your country. You've just outlined the problem that Australia is inherently on the other side of the referendum. Why don't you give us some thoughts about how we should chart the path forward?
Well, there's probably three, in terms of Indigenous Affairs, First Nations, and the Minister and my colleagues have had some discussions about these things. So these are the broad ideas. One is we've obviously got to do something about the social redress, closing the gap and those sorts of social inequities that First Peoples experience as citizens of this country. We've got to fix that up. It's not the only agenda, though. We saw, and we should learn now from the experiences of the way in which the dialogue or the discussion or the whatever it was at the time of the referendum, how that was conducted, the communication fabric, was without standard. There's no objective standards that are sacrosanct in that debate that went on. So we need to go back and seriously look at the Human Rights Declaration on Indigenous Peoples' Rights. And we need to go back to look at the importance of the significance of United Nations declarations and covenants to give us standards and guidances and measures that we should inculcate as part of the way we have service deliveries to all citizens of this country, but in relation to the First Nations, the Declaration on Indigenous Peoples' Rights. And the third matter that we should seriously start to look at and get out of the welfare mentality and agenda is how to enable First Peoples to create the economic independence that they can do by leveraging up their asset bases, and that's not only those physical asset bases they hold, but also those ones that have been alienated from them. We can get our heads around that and work out ways to develop the programs and the methods and the allegiances that need to be developed. We will be able to contribute to the reconciliation process in this country in a far more meaningful way than we've had up to this point.
You're just listening there to the Labor Senator Pat Dodson outlining some of the challenges he sees as this country continues to grapple with reconciliation. He has announced his retirement from federal politics after many, many years, decades of public service.